Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is VIN2906. This is a 2019 083 Ultra White with LA20 black interior for sale at JM Lexus in Florida, 75,000 miles for $56,000. Production statistics. First and foremost, this is one of the cars. There's not many of them that are like this. This is basically a base model car. It doesn't have Mark Levinson stereo. It doesn't have a heads-up display. It doesn't have the polished wheels. It has black calipers instead of the optional orange calipers. The only option it has is the Z2 package, which is the trunk mat, key gloves, wheel locks, and an applique on the rear bumper, the clear film on the top of the rear bumper. That's it. Other than that, this car has no other options. I don't know if you even get navigation with a base model. There's so few of these that are optioned like this. I'm not super familiar with any of the other options that it didn't have. That being said, there are 648 out of the 2,347 cars for the US 49 everywhere except Hawaii that were ultra white. This is the most common color on these cars. Of those 648, 266 had LA20 black interior, so that's the second most common color combination. 11.33% of all of the US 49 cars were this color combo, so like a 2 out of 10 rarity, maybe even a 1. Specific for 2019 though, it is rare because it is a 2019. 48 out of the 232 cars were ultra white, and really 100 of those were anniversary, so it's really 48 out of 132 cars. 21 had LA20 black interior, so it's rare because it's a 2019, but it's a common color combination. Carfax, Epic VIN, and AutoCheck. Carfax shows this as a one owner, one accident to the rear in June of 2022. It was towed, so obviously enough damage where it wasn't just a fender bender or something. And in June of 2024, there was damage reported to the front. Not necessarily an accident, could have been replacement of something on the grille, if that got damaged, something along those lines. Epic VIN shows this as a one owner, one accident car, so it's that same one in 2022. AutoCheck shows this as a one owner, one accident, June of 2022, to the rear, left, front, and the front grille. So that sounds pretty substantial, even though it says minor damage. So maybe just minor damage to a lot of panels. Previous sales. This car first went on sale in November of 2018, $89,000 in Florida. It was still on sale in July of 2019, $89,000, and it finally sold in February of 2020. So this car was on sale for 1 year and 3 months for sale. Likely because it didn't have the Mark Levinson stereo. That's the thing that a lot of people want on these cars, and this car didn't have it. The heads-up display, you can kind of live without that, but if you have a 2016, all of the 2016s had all of the options already, and so this car had none of them. And now here it is, January 2026. The car is for sale, $56,000 with 75,000 miles as a one-owner car. So now into the photos. There are no current photos listed yet, but I do have the photos from when the car was originally listed new. And so you can see, if you look in the photos here, there's no Mark Levinson logo right underneath the CD slot. I don't have any photos of the heads-up display because it's not there, but normally there would be controls to the left of the steering wheel on the dash, and so this car won't have that. It'll either have blanks or there will be nothing there. As far as what to look for, the usual things: carbon fiber trim delamination on any of the interior panels, any of the touch points, the steering wheel, the shift knob, the seat bolsters, things like that. That's what you kind of need to look at for this. But until we get photos, that's what I've got. So onto the price. If this car had the Mark Levinson and the heads-up display, the other options that normally come with these cars, I would say the price is pretty spot on for where it needs to be for a 2019 with this kind of mileage. It's on the higher end of miles, on the higher end of mileage for 2019s, but it is in line with the others that have had similar mileage. So I would say because of the options, the Mark Levinson, I speak so much about that because it's like a $1,500, $1,800 option, something like that. It's a very expensive option when these cars were new. So you adjust for inflation, let's call it like $2,500 option, not insignificant. Does that add a little to the price? Yeah, it does. So I would say, because of this car lacking those options, it probably needs to be a little bit less. Not much, maybe 55 and a half, something like that. But other than that, it's not terrible. And so what I would do is I would inspect the damage or the repairs from the accident very carefully. I would look at the grille, the bumper, the entire left side and the rear bumper. Just satisfy yourself that the repairs were sufficient. But I think where the price is at, it's fairly close to where it needs to be for this car. Service history. So I would say this car is like somewhere in the middle as far as being well dealer serviced. I wouldn't call it great, but it's not terrible either. The first entry of note before the car was even sold new happened at the dealer, February of 2019, new stereo amp. That's usually something you see with the Mark Levinsons as they get some age on them, but there is a company that offers a repair service on those because they're like $2,000 to replace. The non-Mark Levinson, I don't know what those amps run, but this car had a new one right when it was brand new. April of 2021, 17,000 miles, the TVD system was reported as overheating. I have not seen that before. However, it looks like it was just a left temperature sensor that had failed, so they had to drain the fluid out of it, take something apart and replace the sensor and the fluid. July of 2022, right after that accident, both front carbon fiber trim pieces on the dash were delaminating and were replaced. So that's good to see. The blind spot monitoring system was on, and they said they're going to take it back to the body shop that originally did the repairs. So just kind of matches up with the accident history. Again, in July of 2022, the left and right front door carbon fiber trims were delaminating. So this car has 4 of the 5 common carbon fiber trims that delaminate, replaced everything except the center console. So that would make me think, let's make sure when we look at this car to look at the center console carbon fiber really closely, make sure you don't see any signs of delamination, because that's the expensive one too. April of 2023, the check engine light was on for a bad oxygen sensor, so they replaced it. I've seen that a few times on these cars, not common though. July of 2024, the 60,000 mile service with the spark plugs and brake fluid done as well. So this is the correct 60,000 mile service on this car. August of 2025, HVAC servo number 1 was replaced. That's the one that you remove the glove box and you have access to it underneath the dash. So fortunately the dash didn't have to come out for that, but one of the many servos has been replaced on this car. And the last service, October of 2025, 1 tire replacement due to having a nail in it that couldn't be repaired. So what's not done? Not much. Maybe the center console carbon fiber trim, front lower control arm bushings. I would look at the shocks on this car. The 17 through 20s had the adaptive damping shocks that have a defective internal oil seal, and they leaked when they had 15 miles. Some of them made it to 70 or 80,000 miles. So this car, I would not be surprised at all if it had leaking shocks. They're not very expensive to replace, all things considered, but it is something you need to look at on this car. This car's still a little too new for having valley plate problems, but it's always not a bad idea when you're doing a pre-purchase inspection on this car to have the valley plate inspected, but it's coming just probably in a few more years. Look at the insides of the front tires. Make sure you don't have inner front tire wear. That would be indicative of front lower control arm bushings needing to be replaced. I would probably look at doing the transmission service and the TVD service, just so that's out of the way. Transmission every 30 to 60,000 miles, as well as the TVD. That's kind of where you should have it done. Lexus doesn't define an actual interval. It just says to inspect the fluid for both of them. Bad idea on these cars. Get them serviced and you will have long life out of these transmissions and differentials. So finally, would I buy this car? I think if it were just a little bit cheaper, but on a personal level, I wouldn't, because it doesn't have the Mark Levinson. But if I was in the market for a GSF, which is me always, but if I was in the market for a GSF, I think if I could get this a little bit cheaper, it probably would be all right. It's fairly well serviced. It's had the 60,000 mile service done. Just a couple other things to get taken care of. Get the transmission done, get the TVD done, inspect the shocks. It's probably otherwise pretty ready to go. So worth checking out, but just keep in mind that it does not have the Mark Levinson stereo. There's very few of these cars that don't have that, and this is one of those. So VIN 2906. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll see you soon.